Hello and welcome to Noobtubegaming. As you already know, Blizzard announced a remaster for our beloved game Diablo 2, which has already been through its first alpha test, which I actually got to play. And so far the game looks absolutely beautiful. The addition of life improvements such as a refresh button when gambling, extra stash space with a shared stash feature included, stunning visual effects, and even the newest way of playing the game via a controller. It's shaping up to be a game that is honest and respectful to its original, and I'm sure we're all very happy so far, except for the spell Blizzard and the sorceress just squealing her way all the way through hell. But today we're going to be testing your knowledge of the game. There will be 4 rounds consisting of 5 questions. Each round will increase in difficulty from noob to pro. If you get one question wrong, then it's game over. Don't worry, you can continue playing, you just have to live with the burning agony of failure. For those who are streamers and wish to play with their audience, it is against the rules to look for the answer via chat. You have one chance to ask the audience for help using your Help I'm a Streamer card. Use wisely. There will be a 20-second gap for you to answer the question. Pausing is allowed. And with that, let's move on to our first question. Question 1. How many classes are there in Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction? Are there 4, 5, 6, or 7? Now, if you got this question wrong, you should definitely not be playing this quiz because the answer is of course 7. Question 2. How many quests are in the entire game? Is it A, 27, B, 22, C, 29, or D, 20? Yep, you got it right. It's 27. Question 3. What is the name of the first elite mob you would encounter in a normal playthrough? Is it A, Griswold, B, Blood Raven, C, Rakinishu, or D, Corpsefire? And the answer is D, Corpsefire. Question 4. Andariel is vulnerable to what? Is it A, fire, B, ice, C, wind, or D, lightning? And the answer is A, fire. Final question for round 1, question 5. Where can Griswold be found? Is it A, the Rogue Encampment, B, Tristram, C, Burial Grounds, or D, Lutgo Lane? Well, I'm hoping that most of you have made it this far. The answer is, of course, B, Tristram. Well, congratulations, you've made it through the first round, but now we move quickly on to round 2, where the difficulty just slightly increases. Question 6. Which of these people helped direct the game? Is it A, David Brevik, B, Chris Metzen, C, James Piney, or D, Rob Pardo? And the answer is A. David Brevik. I'll give you an extra point if you're able to figure out the other three names. They helped make StarCraft 1. Question 7. Who composed the music for Diablo 2? Is it A. John Williams, B. Matt Uelmen, C. Derek Duke, or D. Jason Hayes? I'm just imagining now how cool it would have been if John Williams actually did compose it, but sadly the answer is B. Matt Uelmen. Question 8. Which real-time strategy game used the cheat code "There is no cow level" for an instant win? Was it A. Warcraft, B. Command and Conquer, C. StarCraft, or D. Age of Empires? And the answer is C. StarCraft. Moving on to question 9. On Battle.net, which item can be sold to summon the Diablo clone? Is it A. SOJs, B. Jewels, C. Shaco, or D. Gold? The reason for this was because a lot of characters back in the day were duping, and it is of course the infamous SOJ. Last question for round 2. Question 10. If you don't save Deckard Cain, how much does he charge you for each identify? Is it A. 200, B. 250, C. 100, or D. 150? And if you've got this one right, then congratulations, you've made your way through round 2, and the answer was C. 100. I can tell you're eager for glory, as you've made it through 2 rounds so far, which I would say is probably the most easiest part of this quiz. But now, we move on to our next harder section, which is round 3. Question 11. How many rune words are able to be made in the game? Is it A. 77, B. 78, C. 79, or D. 80? Let's see if you're good. It's B. 78. Question 12. How much rate of mana does a mana recharge shrine give? Is it A. 350%, B. 375%, C. 400%, or D. 200%? And the answer is of course C. 400%. Question 13. Which order is correct to create the runeword armor principle? Is it A. Gul Eld Ral, B. Ral Gul Eld, C. Eld Gul Ral, or D. Ral Eld Gul? And the correct answer is B, Ral Gul Eld. Question 14. What piece of gear has the lowest drop rate? Is it A, Shaco, B, Tyrael's Might, C, Mang Song's Lesson, or D, Shadow Fang? Now, if you were Mr. Llama SC, you would probably pick C, Mang Song's Lesson, but no, the answer is B, Tyrael's Might. Last question for round 3. Question 15. There are many NPCs in the game, but how many are there? These are the characters you as the player are able to communicate with. Is it A, 29, B, 32, C, 35, or D, 28? The cogs in your head are turning, but have you been able to figure out the answer? Or did you just rush through the game and not bother talking to any NPC? Well, if you did, you would know that the answer was B, 32. Well, congratulations. Can you believe it? You've made it all the way to round 4. You're so close to glory. But can you answer these next questions? Question 16. Which voice actor recorded the speech lines for The Wanderer? Is it A, Larry B. Scott, B, Liana Young, C, Milton James, or D, James Harper? If you got this one correct, then I do applaud you. It is D, James Harper. Question 17. How many patches has there been since the launch of Diablo 2? Is it A, 30, B, 22, C, 15, or D, 29? This question separates the boys from the men. If you got this one right, then well done. The answer is A, 30. Question 18. Which of these awards was rewarded to Diablo 2 in 2001? Was it A, Best Gameplay, B, Best Graphics, C, Interactive Achievement Award, or D, Best Music? Yep, I think you got this one right. It's C, the Interactive Achievement Award. You're so close to the end. Can you get this one right? Question 19. What is the name of the rare mob that was removed from the game because it was too close to the waypoint, thus killing players when they were loading in? Is it A, Pit Spawn Foul Dog, B, Flame Spike the Crawler, C, Dark Elder, or D, Brem Sparkfist? I remember back in my youth when I played this game when I was younger, and I can tell you, I remember this happening quite a lot. It was B, Flamespike the Crawler. Well. It seems we're on our last question. Will you take home the glory? Let's find out. Question 20. In patch 1.01 for Hellfire, the unofficial Diablo expansion, which class was added as a hidden class? This was not included in the final game. Is it A, Barbarian, B, Druid, C, Necromancer, or D, Wizard? Well, the answer could surprise you. It is in fact A. Surprised that you've even got this far. I mean, how could you not tell it was C? C, that you were doing so well throughout all of this when the answer was in fact A, Barbarian. Well, congratulations if you've made it this far. Your prize is of course the bragging rights that you can have to all of your friends or even those in chat if you are a streamer. Now if you did enjoy this content, please leave a like and a comment and even subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more. Please pop down and comment and say how far you got and tell me which one was your favourite question and which one you actually didn't know. But once again, thank you so much for joining in and I'll see you next time.